Recording, I'm going to go over on steps on how to UV map this building so far. What we have here is a couple things I wanted to take note is the modeling. You've got two objects here. You could probably have done that with just one cube. And I'm going to show you that real quick. Create a polygon cube, and I know this is fine for now, but in the future try to keep all your building except for maybe the arcs, and keep even the arcs all as one, but try to learn how to split this so you don't have to have so many objects in a scene. It makes it a little bit more difficult to UV. You want one UV map versus several UV maps. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and insert Edge Loop Tool, and you can just quickly cut this. Got it on soft select, so you can see how this comes out. We could have gone and grab this and then extrude edge, and I've got it on soft select, so it's going to look awful. But anyways, you could do simple stuff like that. Instead of creating one on top of each other, you can create this look like this. Again, you probably want to keep basically the whole building as one polygon. But this is fine for now. But down the road, you may want to keep it a little bit more simple. Just make it a lot easier to UV map it. So right here we've got now the windows you could have kept separate. I think you have a polygon plane in there. If you want transparency on the windows, that's where I would have kept those separate. It looks like you did. It looks like there's a door here. Alright, that's fine. You did a good job on the windows. Alright, so let's just go ahead and start breaking apart the building. I may not do the whole building. I'm going to go ahead and get you started so you know how to lay this out. Alright, so here I'm going to go ahead and just break this into layers, make this easy. I'm just going to probably just go after the building and maybe one of the arcs. So I go ahead and create, add the building, and then we're going to create another layer for the arches. Go ahead and get all the arches. Marquee, grab them all. Same here. What's UV? One of these arcs you could probably duplicate special, so I'll show you how to do that. Go ahead and make another layer for windows, window treatments. Let's do a key here. Again, once you get one of these done, then you can duplicate it. Trying to save time. It's good they're there now as a kind of a indicator of where they should be. Okay. Again, all of these little details, these are fantastic details, but they could have all been done on one polygon, including this. But I understand. I totally get it. Okay. Selection. Selection. The rest of it. Alright, so then we're going to go back to the original building here. A lot of it is some weird stuff here. You could probably... Alright, I see what you're doing. Okay, this is kind of the first time looking at the model and looking at what you're doing. Alright, so what we want to do is break this apart so everything lays flat. What I like to do instead of doing a whole face, I like these dots on my selection. Also, I have soft select on, which is not going to make this any easier. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my tool here. Let's drop all these off. Go to W. Go to soft select and turn that thing off, because that is quite annoying. All right. Another thing is if you want to do marquees, which makes this a lot easier, you're going to go to your preferences. So you can go to Maya preferences, and this is really important. Go to selection. You can go to whole or center face. I like to do center face. A whole face, you have to kind of select one at a time. Center face, you can do more of a marquee. All right. So what we want to do is go ahead. I hit 4, and I could do a marquee like this. Shift. Okay, so if we had whole face on, we couldn't do that. It would be selecting all these top guys. It just makes it a little bit harder. All right, so I'm going to go in here and do my UV mapping. Go to modeling. We're going to go to UV, and I'm going to go ahead. Don't have to open that up. Go to UV, and we're going to do planar. Go to the dialog box. If you haven't done this before, you want to make sure it's on camera. Keep the image ratio and bounding box. We're going to hit project. Alright, so now we're going to kind of squeeze all this stuff into our UV editor, Windows UV editor. And again, if you haven't done this, you may have to watch this twice. I'm going a little fast, but again, covering all the steps that you need to know. So I'm going to go to top view again. Key. And I'm going to do another planar. Pull this over to the side. Yeah, we know this should be around the same height as the other one. So let's go ahead and pull this down. Now, make sure you don't skew it out. Just trying to, you can't hit shift or anything. I don't know why it doesn't constrain it, but it should. There we go. Go down a little bit more so it's the same height. It's alright if you wobble it. Oh, don't do that. W. And pull it over. Whatever you do, don't put it on top. Once you do, you won't be able to move it. Make sure there's a little bit of space so you can move this stuff around. Alright, so now we have the rest of it. You could go in there, grab it. I'm just going to go to face and select them like that. You could go in here and select them separately, but basically it's just the top and bottom. And we're going to do a top view, and we're going to do a UV planar. Pull this off to the side. And I'm going to hit R with that to squeeze it down. And basically we got to fit everything into this bounding box. So I'll pull this up. Put these a little bit closer. Okay, so basically we got to fit all this into this box. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead, squeeze that in. And basically you want every square inch in there to be kind of this surface. Okay, so one of it's the side and the front. And then one is the roof and the bottom. So we should have probably separated that because you probably want a wooden floor. Let me redo that real quick. So I'll go in here. Let's do that real quick. Let's at least separate one of these. Alright, so we've got to the side, and I'll go to roof, go to the top, do another UV planar, W. Alright, so we know this is a roof, and this is the bottom, so this is going to be some sort of flooring. We're going to fit two of these suckers in here, so we're going to go small. Okay, again, we want to try to get it all within that gray. So squeeze it down, and this is where you'll want to get it up large. Try to go every square inch that you can do, but also make sure you keep a little bit of maintenance so you can, be able to select these without overlapping. Whatever you do, do not overlap. All right. So you can see it's going to be a little bit more of a pain because we have separate objects. The arc, I understand that, but the rest of it, I want to keep it all one object. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to object mode. I've got it selected, and now what we want to do is create a UV map. And we're going to go to UV snapshot. I'm going to do 1200 by 1200. And I'm going to tell it to go to, and also make a JPEG, not in IFF. Anyway, I tell it to go to desktop, and then Cuban house, and then call it main. Don't have to capitalize that. Main underscore house or building, whatever you want to call it. Save. Alright, so this is going to make like a little black and white template. So I'm going to hit OK. Alright, so I'm going to stop the tutorial here. I'm going to get some textures ready to show you how to do crazy bump and show you the links for that. Talk to you soon.